Have you ever gone to a wedding that was supposed to be a fun and loving affair but it unexpectedly turned sour? Watch how this story unfolds and be the judge. If this is your first time on our channel, you're welcome. Let's get down to the story. Mirabel met Ugonna at a petrol station where both had come to refill their tanks. They struck an instant affection for each other. They exchanged contacts and promised to be in touch. From then, the two of them saw more of each other. They chatted, they laughed, and they were sober at times. Mirabel told him she came from hardship, having lost her father earlier in life. Her mother, Ugonna, had labored as a manual worker in people's farms to put food on their table. As she grew up with her two brothers, Caleb and Ugonna, they had joined hands in doing various works to help their mother. Laughing, Mirabel told Ugonna how she had hawked food items and fruits, how she and her brothers pounded fufu to sell the next day. They had also joined their mother in farms to weed and get paid to survive. But she explained to him that today, she was glad to be a successful woman. She was now an online teacher, teaching the Igbo language to foreign students and Igbos in diaspora. She also had a commendable boutique where she sold women's clothes. Her brother, Caleb, was an architect in Lagos while Ugonna had his own auto mechanic garage here in Enugu. Ugonna was proud of her resilience. I'm glad you weathered the storm and came out successful. I'm proud of you. Mirabel nodded with a smile. Ugonna was an importer of building materials, and when Mirabel teased him about extreme importation killing the nation's economy, he told her that he also bought tiles made in the country. They laughed it off. Ugonna was well off and had some posh cars and houses to show for that. He also informed Mirabel that he had 5 orphanages he helped every month. Mirabel was impressed. Their love blossomed, however. A dark cloud was on the horizon. Ugonna's mother, Jacinta, didn't show much acceptance of Mirabel. She had tried several times to get her only son, Ugonna, to marry one of the women she found for him, but he refused. "I'll find my own wife, Mama, please," he always told her. Ugonna's father, Ferdinand, supported his son and encouraged him to find his own wife. "You're the one to live with her, not us," he always told him. So when Ugonna brought Mirabel home to see his parents, his mother was not enthusiastic. She said that most women from Mirabel's town in Enugu were usually wayward and cheaters. Mirabel was shocked. "Mom, you can't generalize." "Stop please," Ugonna had told her. "You're welcome, my daughter," Ugonna's father told Mirabel with smiles. "Don't worry, everything will be all right," he added. Ugonna squeezed Mirabel's hand and smiled at her in reassurance of his love. She smiled back. But she knew then she had a battle on her hands. Ugonna's mother's cold reception was unmistaken. What would she do? Would she back out of this relationship because of Ugonna's mother? Troublesome mothers-in-law can be tasking. Was she ready for that? Mirabel couldn't tell. But she loved Ugonna. Mirabel's mother and brothers accepted Ugonna wholeheartedly, but the stories of his possessive mother gave them worries. Ugonna asked her daughter, Mirabel, if she would be able to cope with such a mother-in-law if Ugonna were to propose to her. Mirabel had made up her mind. "Yes, Mama, I will marry Ugonna if he proposes to me," she answered with a firm smile. "His mother will learn to accept me. But come what may, I won't let her ride me." Mirabel's mother let out a deep breath. She was having second thoughts. 3 months after they started dating, Ugonna proposed to Mirabel and she said yes. Both of them were happy. Ugonna's mother, Jacinta, was not. She didn't like Mirabel for no reason. She saw her as someone self-willed, whom she cannot easily control or mold. She had used different tactics to scare Mirabel off, calling her family illiterate, when she and her siblings were all graduates, just because their mother was not literate in the academic sense. She called her a gold digger, to which Mirabel only shook her head smiling. The traditional wedding was carried out despite Ugonna's mother's reluctance. She had to accept her son's decision to marry Mirabel. The traditional wedding was a success. Then a week later, the white wedding was executed. The two families arrived in their best clothes. And their guests too. Ugonna pulled a huge crowd because his business colleagues came with their partners. His mother invited her different union members. As a retired civil servant, she still maintained her connection with her former colleagues, and her church women's group were on ground too, in their uniform wrappers. Ugonna and Mirabel took their vows at the altar and the audience applauded with joy. Then, they proceeded to the reception. Guests ate to their fill and drank as much as they wanted. Ugonna had funded the wedding very well. Mirabel had also contributed to the wedding, insisting she would support in her own way. The band played music and Ugonna and Mirabel danced. Their families joined them too. Then guests sprayed them with money. In the end, it was a successful wedding. However, towards the end, food was exhausted as guests had eaten very well. Then, Ugonna's mother had 5 guests from her church who came late to the wedding. After exchanging greetings with them, Ugonna's mother took them to a canopy. "Wait, your food will be brought soon," she told them, walking off with one of her maids. But lo, food had finished. All the warmers were now empty. Jacinta was bothered. "How can all the food finish?" she murmured. One of her maids told her that the only warmer containing rice was the one in the custody of Mirabel's mother. It was a small warmer of jollof rice. "Really?" Jacinta said with relief. "She will have to bring it out." "I need to serve my guests," she said with authority. Ugonna's mother approached Mirabel's mother, her expression serious. "Ezinwani, I heard you colonized a warmer of rice. I need to feed some special guests, so you need to bring out the food," Jacinta told her importantly. Mirabel's mother was taken aback. What did she mean by saying she colonized a warmer of rice? "The rice you're talking about is reserved for the women's group in our clan. It's part of the tradition to bring home a warmer of rice for them, so, I'm sorry, I can't bring it out," Ezinwani told her. Jacinta was like someone stung by a bee. "Look at this wretched woman from nowhere who my son is improving her life, she has the mouth to refuse my order," she said, patting her palms dramatically. People had started gathering and watching them in disapproval. "Did you call me a wretched woman?" Ezinwani fired in anger. "Watch your language, woman. Your insults are too many," she added. "Just because your son married my daughter, is that why you should insult us every time?" "Hungry woman, Abeg, bring out that warmer of rice," Ugonna's mother continued with flashing eyes. "I will not," Mirabel's mother told her. Mirabel saw what was happening and hurried towards them to stop whatever was happening. But as she arrived, Ugonna's mother moved closer to Mirabel's mother and pushed her hard. Ezinwani crashed to the floor and there were exclamations of shock around. The sight of her mother on the floor, disgraced, filled Mirabel with anger and she lunged forward and pushed Ugonna's mother. There was an uproar as Ugonna's mother fell to the ground. Ezinwani was already being helped up. Jacinta was shocked. Did Mirabel just push her to the floor? Ha! She struggled to her feet in a flash and went for Mirabel. Ugonna's mother slapped Mirabel hard on the cheek. Mirabel was shocked. She did not waste time, she stretched forth her hand and slapped her mother-in-law back. Unfortunately, that was the moment Ugonna arrived and he saw her slapping his mother. "What the hell is happening here?" he yelled in fury. "See the kind of woman you're bringing into our house," his mother told him in anger. Ugonna moved to Mirabel and gave her a hot slap on her right cheek. Tears welled up Mirabel's eyes. "My mother was right after all," he spat, his eyes dark. Mirabel struggled against the tears that wanted to course down her cheeks. But the tears fell down anyway. Yes, she was right. What you need is a puppet wife. Ask people here what she did. This wedding is cancelled. Go back to your people. Ugonna announced, "They're meeting and holding for the last time." People gasped in shock. "Mama, let's go," Ugonna told his mother, taking her hand. "Where is Papa?" "Everyone should enter the car." Mirabel watched them leave, wiping her tears. Her mother held her shoulders and her relatives surrounded her. Her brothers later led her away. That was how the wedding scattered. Mirabel did not regret fighting for her mother. While she loved Ugonna, she could not let his mother denigrate her and her family. Let her get him a puppet wife, he will learn the hard way, she thought. Who is to blame in this case? Mirabel or her mother-in-law? Tell us your thoughts in the comments and thanks for watching.